If you want to comment, we welcome that, or like, or subscribe,
You're making me uncomfortable.
or share this with somebody.
If you want to. I mean, Iglesias giving them a choice. It's not telling them to.
No, I wasn't telling them before. Well,
Make sure you like, comment,
sure
subscribe, and hit the, what is it? Hit the what?
Notification
Hit the notification bell down below.
I had committed several emotional affairs. I had downplayed them because they weren't physical. And
Technically, you could just say you cheated, but I guess you
No,
wouldn't
I committed-
consider it.
no, I committed.
I mean, but at
infidelity.
the time, you wouldn't have considered it that.
At the time, I didn't think it was.
No, but even still, it's
I
not
saw that
physical, but
coming,
you're
bro.
talking to other women in like a romantic context and it's not cheating to you. Like, that isn't.
It
Because then I
is
just think men
now.
are stupid. Like, I just like.
No. Okay, yes, men are stupid,
But I don't want to say that. But like,
But
when
keep
you
in
say
mind-
that, like, I didn't think that. I'm like,
I mean,
how
I
do you
know it
not
now,
think
but a
that?
lot of men don't think that, or even women don't think that because there was something I did when each one of you was 14 years old. Do you remember what it was?
No, do you remember what it was?
Yeah, you told us about your trifling life or your triflingness.
I told you about my triflingness.
Yes.
Yes, I did. I felt like I needed to tell you about my triflingness.
Why do you feel like you need to tell us?
I felt like I had not just did a crime, a moral crime against your mom. I felt like I did a moral crime against the family.
Well, you definitely did, but.
And y'all know, yeah, I thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
You know, like in Stranger Things, there's like a breach that 11 opens up and then she never closed it back up. I feel like in the spiritual realm, there are breaches that parents open up and expose their parents or their children to, and children are fighting battles that they never asked to fight. And I didn't want to just make things right with your mom from like all that we had to wrestle back from, because I was very immature. I was a little boy when I married your mom. I didn't think I was a little boy. According to society's definitions, I didn't think I was a little boy, but I realized emotionally and mentally I wasn't where I was supposed to be a husband and a father. So your mom and I went through a very horrific season, and with God's grace, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of years for us to get to a place where we had a solid foundation of trust and love and just beginning to heal. And I felt a very strong conviction is like, now that me and your mom are at a certain place, that I wanted to sit down and talk to each one of you. And I didn't know what the right age was.
It's because you were, well, with me, it's because of the book.
Huh? Say it again?
With me, it was because of the book.
Oh, the book was coming out at that particular time?
Yes.
I
So you just
think
decided for the rest of them that you would do it at 14.
You were 14
No, I
when
think-
the book came out?
Mm-hmm.
I think in the book it's called Sexual Healing, A Man's Sexual Journey and the Lessons Learned Along the Way.
Sexual Healing by author Eric Kellum seeks to normalize the conversation around sex, purpose, and God's design for intimacy. In this transparent memoir, Eric uses his own testimony paired with the truth of God's Word to help readers understand why God created sex, how we drift from His design, and what it looks like to return to a life of sexual integrity. For the married man longing to heal himself and his marriage, for the married woman trying to understand what her husband wrestles with, and for the single man wanting to prepare himself the right way, Sexual Healing offers clarity, courage, and a path back to God's original intent. Because at the end of the day, everybody needs a little sexual healing. Get your copy at thekellumfamily.com today.
And the book is called Sexual Healing, A Man's Sexual Journey and the Lessons Learned Along the Way, which I think is very helpful in this society because many people...
Because you wrote it?
No, unbiasedly, I think it's a good book because...
I think you can be unbiased from a book.
Because this is what I said, family starts with sex, but family can be destroyed by sex. And so I'll just leave it at that, right? Mm-hmm. So I think Eric was the first one, and I talked to him around 16. But then I guess you were 14 and you kind of set the tone, and then of course it trickled down all the way to Zoe. But I want to know, what was your reaction when I told you that stuff?
I don't remember.
I
Really?
remember you telling me, because I remember you expected my reaction to be worse than what it was. And you told me that Taylor was mad at you.
I was going to say it probably was based
So it
on
was like
something.
you said Taylor was mad at you about it. And then my reaction was more calm because I obviously knew something happened. I didn't know what happened, but I knew that there's something that disrupted like y'all's marriage flow. And so I think I was more like, well, that's what you did in the past. So it's like I wasn't necessarily, obviously I didn't like hearing what you did, but it wasn't like I was angry at you in that moment. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I knew you were changed and you were better. So it was like, okay.
I think the more I recall it, I do remember a greater sense of grace coming from you.
You did tell me that you expected my reaction. You prepared yourself for me to have a more angrier reaction because you said that Taylor was mad. Rightfully so, honestly.
Yeah, it was tougher with Taylor.
But
and
it
Simone.
was not.
I never heard about Simone's reaction.
You also got to understand, you were releasing the book, and I found out about. I found out from the. I think.
You could have found out from someone else.
No, it was like an awkward situation for me because I had somebody at my school bringing it up to me, like, "Oh, your dad's writing a book about sex." Like a teacher or a person, a faculty member at my school. Well, they weren't a faculty member, they were, but they were also one of my coaches. So I'm like, I already like felt like you're putting me in a lot of awkward situations here, like.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I guess I did resent you for that.
And you're a freshman in high
I'm
school.
sorry.
I don't even care now. I don't really remember much. I don't remember the conversation because I think I had known some things before we even had the conversation. That was my first conversation with you, but that didn't mean that Mom didn't share anything before that. Like she didn't say.
She wouldn't
I think
say up front.
yeah, but she shared like I guess her feelings, but like she didn't say what you did or anything. So I guess that was the first time hearing I guess that part. But I wouldn't be surprised if I was upset. I don't think I was upset for long.
I had committed several emotional affairs, and I think I had downplayed them because they weren't physical. And
Technically, you could just say you cheated, but I guess you
No,
wouldn't
I committed-
consider it.
no, I committed.
I mean, but at
infidelity.
the time, you wouldn't have considered it that.
At the time,
because
I
it
didn't
wasn't
think
physical,
it was because
but
society
it's
says
still-
that, oh man, that's not. But I realized that it's more.
I was gonna say, if anything, it's worse.
It is worse, and I don't think people realize that because physically, people can just hook up and smash and do whatever physical activities, and not
They
even
don't call it that.
and not even care about that person. But when you create emotional ties, it has longer impacting results. And it was a journey. It was humbling, and so I was grateful when your mom forgave me. But then going to now understand this next step, and I'm only bringing this up because I just had this conversation. I led a workshop with a bunch of men, and I was pointing out a very interesting cycle from a biblical standpoint. Abraham told a white lie. It was half truthful, half lie. But then his son told a full lie. And then his son,
You want to say these lies are for people who don't know?
I mean, Abraham said that his wife was his sister, which
Which
was
she
half
is.
true.
Yeah.
But he did that out of fear because he was afraid that they would kill him. A very interesting situation. His son Isaac was in the exact same situation with the same king, and his son was fearful, and he told a full lie because his wife was not his sister. And then if you look at his son Jacob, talking about this lying spirit, there was a half lie, then a full lie. Jacob straight up deceived, which is like a greater form of lying, just a lie. It's like now it's a habit or something you're comfortable doing. He deceived his brother and his father for a blessing and a birthright. And then his sons not only deceived their dad, they kidnapped their brother and they were tempted to kill him and they sold him into slavery. And so I'm just thinking, when we don't address our flaws as parents, we give permission for that spirit to just kind of dwell with the family and be comfortable with the family. And sometimes because of our shame, we're embarrassed to bring it up. I mean, I can't tell you. You were giving me a little bit more grace. I can't tell you the look, and I could still feel the look in Taylor's eyes. I'm not saying that I was your hero before I told you that, because I don't know how you perceive me and see me overall. But I can say the look of disappointment that you had once I told you, I felt like I was going through this whole process with your mom all over again, with you.
That's because I have my mother's eyes.
It was
But I was
bad.
gonna say, I feel like since you brought this up today, I felt more disappointment in you a few weeks ago than I remember that situation. So maybe I'll just, I don't know, like maybe it just takes
What happened
time.
a few weeks ago?
What did happen? I don't know, but me and him got into a heated argument in the garage.
There was a
And
misunderstanding.
I was like, I felt in that moment something
I have
in me was
learned
shattered
from that
of my
particular-
viewpoint of view.
I have learned from that particular exchange, because there was something that I said, and I don't want to get into the details because it gets complicated, and it involves other people that are not here. But as men, sometimes we feel like we have the ability to say certain things to the people that we care about, and it not be taken
I don't
a
think that's
certain
limited
way.
to men. I think that's
Yeah.
just relationships.
But I'm realizing, I'm saying in the context of men, I learned from that. It's kind of like, and this is where I came off from it, this is what I took away from it. We tell white people that you just can't say the N-word. Or if you say it, it just leaves a sour taste in our ears when you say it, even though you're comfortable saying it. It's just, you don't know what it's like to go through the history of what we've been through to use that N-word. And so with that said, there's certain things I'm realizing I just am insensitive if I speak to as a man, because I have never and will never know what it's like to be a woman. And there's certain things that I could say, and I don't think it's that serious in my opinion, but because I've never been in the body of a woman, I can't even begin to comprehend. And I said some things that were taken out of context or taken to be malicious, and they weren't malicious. They
But
were
my
just me
disappointment
speaking out
wasn't because of
ignorance.
what you said. I knew you were ignorant. It's the confrontation that we had that didn't go how I thought it would go.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you felt attacked. So then you were defensive.
It wasn't just I felt attacked. I
Felt ganged upon. That's your words.
was having a tough day, and it was an extra thing on top of the tough day, and I responded very poorly and immaturely to you because I was having a tough day. And
My point is, I think with the book telling me about the 2014 thing, or what year was that? I don't know. When I was 14, I don't know what year that was, 2018. I think I didn't feel as much of like, you think you saw this look in my eye of like, I could feel it all over again. I think I felt more whatever that like disappointed look would be a few weeks ago than I did that day. So I don't think it had that much of an impact.
I get that. I was really curious to why you were so mad, and so mad for so long. And I think
You're talking about, you were curious about why she was mad about what?
about what we had got into an argument about.
Oh, a few weeks? As I was
Right.
saying, if you didn't know why she was mad when you were telling her at 14, that
No,
would be kind
no.
of...
I understood that, but the way she was treating me like it was 2018, and I didn't understand. But this is what I took away from it.
From which situation?
From
I guess you can, in a way they're connected.
from the most recent situation. This is what I took away from it. I have made a commitment to advocate women.
You,
Advocate women
wait,
or
you made
advocate
a
for
commitment
women?
to advocate for women?
To advocate for women. I
When?
have. I'm going on a podcast today to talk about how women are unfairly objectified.
But what...
And my point and my frustration was you can't say that, you can't be the man who wants to advocate for women and not like be consistent. That was
But
my
see,
frustration.
respectfully, you're talking about consistency. It's not like that I say comments and run into, even in our advocacy, there could be moments that we're realizing I'm still part of the problem if I have this thought or I have this opinion that I need to self-correct. None of us are immune from, like, we're still a work in progress.
Yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
And I don't use that as a cliche.
I mean,
There's a
everybody is.
progression that we still have to make. I find grace that I look at the fact that Abraham lied, and that was a big issue that came up several times, but God still decided, was committed to using him to be a father of many nations. So like, I think God works with us. He doesn't make excuse, and at some point there's going to be consequences from either ignorance or sin or flaws that we're ignoring, but we're still developing. That was a huge moment for me, because I thought at that particular time, if I have a close proximity with someone, I should be free to say something and they not take it the wrong way. And it was an insensitivity to my maleness and compare it to her female, or my manhood compared to her womanhood. That's, so I don't know. It's probably difficult for the viewers watching this. Maybe they can hear the principle of what we're saying without us going into the details. But I brought up the whole thing about 14 because I was really curious, looking back now, how you guys felt, and how, if you looked at me different, and if you knew the why of why I felt like I needed to sit down and talk to you about it.
I don't really know. I guess I probably assumed the why was because, I mean, like Taylor said, you wrote a book about other people know, and then also it's our family, kind of like a part of our family history.
It wasn't just because it definitely wasn't because I wrote the book.
Oh, that's how I felt.
No, I was torn when I wrote the book. Like, I got small children and I'm writing this book about sex, and where do I draw the line? And part of my
I said him writing the book was so strange for like me.
Yeah.
And like you said, it was strange for you too, but it was like.
And I think part of my desire is I want to normalize the conversation of sex in church, and I want to normalize it where parents could talk about sex in families. Like, parents can comfortably, like this guy that purchased a book recently, he's going to take the book and he's going to walk through the book with his 15-year-old son, which I'm like, if that helps them, that's great, because a lot of parents feel awkward having the talk. But the reason
I don't even remember having this talk with you guys, honestly. Like, I don't recall, but that's okay.
No, but I feel like sex gets brought up a lot around here.
It does, and honestly, to the point where it's kind of just annoying. Like, I personally don't even care. Like, I don't.
It doesn't affect me at all. I just think it's funny watching Zoe's reaction.
It's just, I personally, I don't have any interest in it. So it's like when it's like sex, it's like annoying.
I don't know if it's not. Yeah, I don't think it's like,
hey
yeah.
guys, sex.
No.
What's going on?
I don't think
Sex.
it's like
It's
that.
not
Sex,
every
sex,
day.
sex. Hey,
That's
sex.
not what it's like. It's just like.
Yeah, I don't have that experience.
I feel like a good part of your ministry is like
You are, yeah.
very.
Well, there's a lot of men that I know that are still, men don't handle trauma well, and they try to mask their trauma with either sex or some other vice. And so that's part of what I realistically want to just like call out the elephant in the room. But the reason I brought this up to you guys, not only to kind of close the breach, so to speak, but also I guess I wanted to give you an example of a flawed or broken man seeking to be a better man.
Well, no, because I think when we first heard the same things, Lauryn, it's like, would it be me? Like, it's funny because it's like a TikTok trend right now. It's like, you don't say that because you don't know what could happen to you. Like, you will be, like, it could be you in that situation. But I'm sure. I'm just like, it wouldn't be me. Like,
Right.
You can't say that because you never know. Cause that's the thing. It's like you say you never know where you could end up, but it's like,
But
why would I?
No, literally.
end up
Like when I
here?
was like, I'm like, first of all, I've always thought that like whoever I marry, like I'd have a friendship with him. Like I would know him enough to know that like I would be able to trust him enough that he wouldn't go out and do that. And I'm like, I'm sure mom
Did the same
felt
thing.
the same way with you. And then it's also just like if I was in that situation, like I want to say that I would leave. Like I wouldn't want to stay with you for that because that's insane. But then I'm like, mom stayed, and like if mom didn't stay, we would be living in two separate. We wouldn't have grown up.
But
the
it's
way
not
we
even
did.
mom stay. So many people stay.
I know, but it's like you said, it's like a wouldn't be me situation. Honestly, I don't even like thinking about it. Cause like I don't want to
Yeah,
think
at
that.
this point,
I don't want to speak that
I
over
would
my
say at
life
this point,
in
I just
any way,
don't
shape,
think
or
about it.
form.
I'm hoping that you guys don't have to deal with that. I celebrate your mom. I think that was the strongest thing that she's ever done.
Of course, she's celebrating. I think sometimes I was like, I think that when I was younger, I was probably not immediately after, but when I started thinking, like, wait, what if, like, we always joke, like, God gave you 4 daughters, like, what if this is, like, revenge
I
plot?
know. I thought about
And
that
I'm
too
like-
before. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't want to be a part of your...
Let me just sit to the side and hush and mind my business. Like, punishments.
I'm good with singleness. I like to keep to myself.
But you
I'm
can't
fine.
live scared.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm fine.
I have a friend whose father committed infidelity in her parents' relationship. They got divorced. And then she says stuff where she's like, she's afraid she's going to cheat. But she doesn't think she's actually going to cheat, but she has said that before. And like, why would she cheat?
Like, passed down. Like, it's not.
No, but to a certain point, it could. That's his point.
That I was making.
Because her grandfather had cheated on her. That's what I'm saying. So she was like, yeah, it is. It is. These are all. They are cycles. They're cycles to this stuff. I don't have actually. Then did I tell you that? I said I had a dream a few months ago where I was like, I was afraid that I cheated, but like, I don't think I would cheat on somebody. It's just the fact of, I guess, awareness of when somebody you love cheats. It's like, how do you look at them? Because like, we obviously love you, but it's.
If
I
was in a relationship, I feel like I'd be a lover girl, so I wouldn't be able to cheat.
Good for you.
A lover girl.
Mm-hmm.
I think anybody in a relationship should be a lover girl.
But they're
in a
not,
relationship.
What does that mean?
It's basically like, it's like you are like focused on one person and one person only. It's not.
So shouldn't everybody in a relationship?
Everybody should be, but they're not. There's still people who are still trying to be outside and be in relationships. And a lot of people don't take relationships seriously anymore. It's like, yeah, I like you, so I'm with you, but they don't take it serious. It's not like like you're my end all be all. They think of it as you're my right now. But what's to come in the future? Who knows?
In any relationship, it is going to require a courage and a sacrifice to love. It may not be cheating, but it may be just something about that person that you would have not normally said, I accept to spend the rest of my life with this person with this particular circumstance, but God is calling me to love this person in the midst of, and he will give you a grace and a peace to do so. So, I mean, love takes courage and love takes sacrifice, but it doesn't also, at the same time, you should never feel like you're compromising your values or your standard of who you are.
Well, what I was gonna say is, when I found that out initially, I was in middle school, and that's when I actually started praying over my future husband, whoever he is, because I was like, all the things
So you
that
found out before 14?
No. Okay, no, you're right. I didn't find out before 14, because I did find out 14. But when I was in middle school, I did start deciding to pray over my future husband. I don't remember. It was something Mom said where she was like, start praying over your future husband. So I was like, I've been praying over him before that. But then after finding out that information, I was more like intentional of what I prayed over for him.
I think, and this is probably, I mean, all this is really a reflection of Mom and how like her character, and like how she handled the situation. I think, like you said, it's like a lot of strength and a lot of maturity. But I think, and like I said, I don't think I could do it. Like, and that's a compliment to her. Not necessarily like I think she's. I don't think she made a mistake. I always, everybody I know loves your relationship. All my friends come around to you guys, or like your parents are so, everybody loves your relationship.
It's the same thing.
They watch you guys. They think that you can tell they really love each other. So I think part of another thing for moms that I would say is Mom's maturity is that every time she's ever brought the situation, she maintains that although you were not a good husband to her, you've always been a good father.
Yeah.
And I think as I've gotten older, I've like really listened to her when she says that. I'm like, it takes a lot of one strength to co-parent in general, but co-parent when you're like still hurting and like pregnant, and to walk away and through the situation, so people acknowledge that you maintain a good father. I also personally believe that during the time of the affair or the incident, I emotionally blacked out, like, because things still affect children whether they know what's going on or not. I will say for the time in my life at the incident, I think probably I was 4 or 5. I can't remember you that much. Like when I remember being 4 or 5, I don't remember you being around that much, and that's not to say you weren't there. I don't know. I sometimes think like I wonder if I could like, you know how people like do, like they lay down, they like remember this and they like unlock a memory somehow, some way. I'm like, I wonder if I could try to, or just people don't remember that age, but I really don't remember you at that age.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you were there. I found a picture of us, every time I find a picture of us together when I'm that age, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you are here. but I don't remember. And I don't think you were ever an absent father, but I really just can't remember it.
No, but I think you bringing that up, I think there's a part of me that just really wasn't there with my family because I was trying to fight and survive this thing that I was experiencing. So I wasn't fully there. I wasn't fully engaged. I was like a shell. I mean, I knew that I wanted to be there, and I had wrote the books. Family's always been important. Sometimes just because something's important to you, if you don't know how to get the help, something could be important, but if you're not doing anything about it, it's not really as important as you think or say it is. It's like somebody saying it's important for me. I don't want to use weight. I always use weight. It's important for me to stop smoking. And that's very important. You know it's important, but if you're not making the sacrifice and doing the stuff to make yourself stop, then it's not really important. So having you guys in my life was important because I didn't have that type of structure of when I was your age. But I didn't realize how jacked up I was, that it just compelled me to make decisions to almost lose everything. So even today, I'm sorry. Like, as I'm thinking about it, and this is like 18 years have passed, but that's something that you never I never want to lose this sense of this sucky feeling, because I realize it caused so much damage to our family.
I just realized that Simone and Zoe weren't alive
They
at
weren't
the time of
alive.
the incident.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like I wonder how the effects are different. I don't know. That's so interesting.
They're a little bit more innocent and naive. Actually, Simone's not, because Simone was in the
Simone was
womb.
Yeah.
So she probably felt the trauma that your mom felt. So, yeah. And the reason I'm bringing this up for this conversation is because I wanted to demonstrate a difficult conversation that I think over time, it's been one of the challenging conversations in our family. Every family has challenging conversations. But we've managed the chance for all parties involved to be more open and honest and talk about the ugliness, the discomfort, and be very real and honest with each other. And I really hope that it's harder for any fathers watching. And it was something I said on the retreat that I want to make sure that I say clearly to any father that's thinking about if you need to help breach some gaps or close up some things that you might have brought into the family. You don't share this information for the sake of you bearing your soul and confessing because you need your internal healing. You get your internal healing on your own. But in the process of getting healing, God might put it on your heart to have these conversations to continue to repair a relationship with family or just people in the family after you've gotten your healing.
I definitely think it's important for parents to share their faults. And I won't even say so the kids can feel relatable or like they're not that much different from their parents. But I mean, it's also, it gives your kids kind of a heads up what they might encounter or like what they're prone to.
That was the other thing I wanted to do.
Like, you're like, this is what happened, and like because of that, like I personally believe the decisions I make will impact my children. That's how I operate now. So I try to, like, when I don't want to do something, I always think long term. Like, even if I don't do this, or if I do something, that's going to impact my kids one way or another. Mm-hmm. This is before I even have kids. So I'm like, you've been telling your kids that, like parents who actually have children, it's like you're just giving them a heads up. Like, this is what I went through. It doesn't have to be the same for you, but like, this is just something that's in our family. I don't know. But it's like, it doesn't, you can reject it. It doesn't have to be a part of your family, but sometimes it's easier to fight when you know what you're fighting.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree.
I think I have a hard exterior in general, but I think at that age, I probably was just upset until I wasn't. Like, I don't think there was ever anything that could be like, when did you stop being upset about it? I think at just some point I was like, okay, I can't care anymore. It's not my problem. It's really not my problem. But I did have I'm over the point I had the same perspective with Lauryn, where it's like, I think everybody had that age where it's like all men are cheaters. Like I just had that thought. I don't think I think that way anymore.
I don't.
And I feel bad for a lot of men, honestly. I saw this story yesterday of a man who.
Wait, I said all men are cheaters?
No.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, that whole, like, fear, like, scare of, like, let me just, because you don't want to get hurt.
Oh, that's...
Like, that's where that's rooted in, though, being afraid of getting hurt. And I'm saying at a certain age, I probably did think all men cheated, but I don't not think that. I don't, if all men cheat, that doesn't mean all women stay. I guess that's what I think nowadays. Like, I don't think all men cheat, but you don't have to stay. You don't have to do. Because what is it? Like, if you, where's in the Bible where it's like, if. It's Paul, right, in Corinthians?
What do you, no.
Where you get to, if you get
That's Matthew. When he's doing the butides or something like that?
No, I'm talking about, like, when women can be divorced, like.
Paul talks about in Corinthians, I believe, 1 Corinthians 7, where he talks about if a spouse who's a believer is married to an unbeliever. But Jesus talks about in Matthew, and I believe it is Matthew 5.
No, I think it's 6.
Let me see. Why Moses
or maybe it's 5.
Gave a certificate of divorce, and Jesus is saying
the
reason why he felt like he needed to give a certificate of divorce is because of the hardness of heart. And the bottom line is, with infidelity, your heart becomes so hard because the betrayal is so real that you just don't think that it's really a God thing. If your heart is humble enough to forgive and move forward, because it's very difficult to feel that sense of betrayal and to move forward. I feel bad even now.
Why? I mean, I guess you should.
Because
you gotta live with it. This is your punishment.
Right, I know.
You're never gonna not feel bad. Imagine what we're telling the grandchildren.
Yeah, your grandfather cheated on grandma, but it's okay, because he's better now.
Like, you're gonna have to do this for the rest of your life. I don't know what to tell you.
That's why I tear up when I watch Hamilton.
Oh my gosh.
Forgiveness. No, but actually you are so annoying, because every time a woman cheats on a show, he's like, that
half or something. And
I'm like, you're not the one to talk.
Please.
Like, let's not act random.
No,
you're
let me be clear.
Prejudiced against women. Like,
let me be clear. It's not a woman thing. I just despise infidelity, period, now. I hate the thing that almost destroyed me. So, like, woman or man, if I see a man that's doing that, I'm not celebrating him. I believe I come down harder on guys than I do on ladies with infidelity, because of the whole objectifying thing that we talked about at the beginning. It was almost like a spiritual agenda for us to be promiscuous and to objectify women.
Well, no one should cheat on anyone. That's just not nice.
I mean, like, if you feel the need to cheat, then you shouldn't be with that person. Unless you're married, then you just don't cheat. That's wrong. But if you're dating someone and you feel like you have an urge to cheat, just break up with the person. Like, I don't see how y'all stay with people and then cheat on them. It's weird.
Cowards. Cowardly. Afraid to share what's going on. Afraid of the reactions.
So you were the coward?
No, we've established. Well, no, they were married, so it was like
the only
way out of. But the only like biblical way out of the marriage is if you did cheat. But
here's the thing: I didn't think I was cheating. That's what again.
Yeah,
I go back
figured
to
you wouldn't. You probably thought it's not physical, so it's okay. But if it's not okay.
But her tears were physical. That's in one of my poetry pieces.
No, but even still, it's not physical, but you're talking to other women in like a romantic context, and it's not cheating to you. Like, that doesn't. Because I just think men are stupid. Like, I just like.
No. Okay, yes, men are stupid, but.
But I don't want to say that. But like, when you say that, like, I didn't think that. I'm like,
I know it now, but a lot of men don't think that, or even women don't think that, because society makes the standard okay.
Society?
The messages that you get from social media, the messages you get from all these magazines. I guess you guys had
Facebook and
the messages that we get from BET and MTV and honestly, though, Cosmopolitan.
You know what,
so if society tells you to jump off the cliff, you're jumping off the cliff.
A lot of like society.
I'm tired of society.
He is right though. A lot of people don't see emotional cheating as cheating. There was a trend on TikTok where basically people were listing different things and they were with their partners and they would be like, if you think like, would you consider this cheating, yes or no? And a lot of the amount of people that be like, if your person were to kiss somebody else, they'd be like, that doesn't really count because you guys
kiss.
Yeah, because they didn't have sex, it didn't count, which is crazy. Because it's like, what do you mean? If you kiss somebody else, you would get mad, but you wouldn't count it as cheating because they didn't have
Well,
sex.
then people need to stop dating.
It's stupid.
Everyone just leave each other alone.
So it's like people have different standards of cheating.
So subtle and sneaky and influential in different mediums, whether it would be the rap videos I was watching as a kid, or the songs I was watching, or the social media that you guys are exposed to. They're sending subliminal messages that are acceptable.
I still just think it's stupid. Like,
it is. I agree. But we're not trained to think.
That's true.
We're trained to be influenced.
That's true.
And have people think for us.
That's true. And AI now think for you.
But I hope that the conversation that I have, or the conversation of us even talking about it now, will provoke people to really look at what's right and continue to have conversations. That's why we do what we do. That's why. So thank you, ladies, for your love. For loving a flawed father.
Yeah, you're a man.
Yeah.
Please don't give up on men.
Oh, I won't, I guess.
I'm praying for your husbands to be as well. That's probably why I want to be intricately involved in the vetting process. I can sniff things out.
That's the thing. I'm not vetting. I believe that God will bring him to me at the time that he brings it to him. I don't need to look for him. Wait, no, I mean not vet. I don't mean not vet, but I mean...
Look, God is great, but them girls know. Because think about this. There are the girls that are dating men, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody, sometimes, I sometimes feel like we don't all have the same God. Like, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're the girls that will sit there, they're in relationships with these boys, and the men joke about this on TikTok. They're like, love when I date a Christian girl. And maybe it's just a joke because I tell her I cheated, and she says, okay, let's pray about it. And then they go on, and then he does it again. So there's a line in the sand. Like, that's just dense.
No, that's
So
no
vetting
discernment
should occur.
there. There's no discernment there.
All right, so let me give you my fatherly advice.
I don't need advice. I don't do
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't need advice.
Okay.
Give them your fatherly advice.
No, it's okay.
What are you gonna tell me, Taylor? If you're dating someone and they cheat and y'all are not married, you don't have to pray the cheating away.
No,
We can pray the cheating away, but for your future wife, because it's not me.
Oh.
Like, I pray for the cheating away,
There
but
was
if
a
you cheat on me
movie-
before we're married, then it's probably not.
There was a movie that we watched, and in the movie, the girl was like, the way you can test a man's heart, not just with cheating or just anything else, is if he has the last piece of cake,
No, mine.
the last bite of the piece of cake.
What movies have seen this movie?
And you ask for a piece and he decides to eat it as opposed to giving it to you, then he still has selfish desires and he's not willing to sacrifice for you. Now, mind you, that is a piece of cake. But keep in mind, Jesus, his whole demonstration of proposing was to die on the cross. So if you're not seeing consistently this person being willing to make sacrifice for you because he loves you and he's sacrificing, he really wants to do this. He really wants to watch the game, and you come and you talk to him and say, we really need to talk right now. And he's like, and he turns off the game and he's giving you his attention. That's not saying that by itself, but I'm saying you'll notice certain things that he's willing to sacrifice because he loves you more than that indulgence or that experience that he normally enjoys. And that's a good indicator. There are subtle signs that you can look at as far as what men will do or willing to do for the woman that they really love, and not just lust. And I don't mean lust sexually, because lust is just when you're in a relationship and you're just looking to get out of the relationship. You're just trying to get out of a relationship, but you're not really looking to give in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Right. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
So, covered a lot. And
Yawning again.
I just really want y'all, fathers and daughters, if you're viewing, to have real authentic conversations. Fathers, to the areas of your life where you're healed, share that with your kids, so that you don't let things get passed down. And if you're not healed, get healed for your kids and for your family, because whatever you're dealing with is way bigger than you. It impacts generations. Daughters, you have a standard. Let God continue to define your standard. Don't just accept any guy that's saying all the right things. He has to demonstrate consistent sacrifice, and that he honors your standard, and he doesn't make you feel like you're compromising your standard. And anything else you guys want to add?
I feel like we're gonna continue to let each other down for the rest of our lives. So when you put it in perspective like that, like, it's okay. Like what you did, and then what you did was to whatever year it was, 2008. You didn't see the impacts of it by having a conversation with us. That's 2010. 2025, you and I are still having disagreements. I feel like when you're in a relationship, like, you just have to remember that you're gonna let each other down, but like, that doesn't mean it's the end of everything.
Grace.
That's a good point.
You gotta give grace.
Like, I'm sure I'll feel disappointed in you in a month.
In a month. What I
Maybe
take
next
away
year.
from what Taylor said
Okay.
is that when you have family, you can expect that you'll be disappointed by them, but you're connected because you're family. And then there are people that are not blood related, but they could be called to you and you called to them, particularly in the case of a spouse. And there's still going to be disappointment, but you feel called to that person, or a particular friendship. But yeah, disappointment is a part of relationships. Within the healing process is a part of relationships.
I'm gonna say, you just have to talk about it.
The mending process. I'm really grateful that I feel like we can talk about just about anything. And I even appreciate the times when we go at it.
I didn't appreciate it.
I know, I don't appreciate it in the moment. Like, me and Lauren have had some shout battles. Like,
I don't shout.
I don't like it when it happens, but I appreciate that's part of the process. If you want to comment, we welcome that, or like, or subscribe,
You're making me uncomfortable.
or share this with somebody.
If you want to. I mean, Iglesias giving them a choice. It's not telling them to.
No, I wasn't telling them before. Well,
Make
I
sure you
guess
like,
be
comment,
sure
subscribe,
you
and hit
kinda-
the, what is it? Hit the what down below? Hit the notification bell down below. I haven't
Oh,
seen any
there's a
YouTube videos
notification
in
bell.
1,000 years.
That really was what the
Like,
20
comment,
teens
subscribe,
era.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, or they tell you to leave something in the comments down below or whatever.
They do that throughout the video.
We
They're
really
like,
appreciate engagement because it helps us with our views. But
Well, just tell them why don't you?
I mean, I don't think it's a secret at this point. Anybody on social media should know this.
I guess.
This is why haters don't make sense to me. Like, by putting a hate comment in someone's...
Because it
One, you
makes
have to
them-
sit there and type that out. Like, you have to
I
sit there and think,
know.
I'm going to be mean today, and then I'm going to post
But
it.
also,
And then you're gonna
That makes
they're
attention
getting
to the
money,
video.
and then you're giving them money. Like, I don't get it. But I also don't comment on social media like that unless
No,
it's like
I don't
really
leave
funny.
hate comments. If I don't like a video, I'm
Alright.
gonna scroll or block or do whatever. I'm
Toodles.
not gonna leave it.
Like, you took the time to be a hater. That's really sad.
It's insane.
adios. Say bye in German.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss, bis später.
Dios te bendiga.
Bye.
Sexual Healing by author Eric Kellum seeks to normalize the conversation around sex, purpose, and God's design for intimacy. In this transparent memoir, Eric uses his own testimony paired with the truth of God's Word to help readers understand why God created sex, how we drift from His design, and what it looks like to return to a life of sexual integrity. For the married man longing to heal himself and his marriage, for the married woman trying to understand what her husband wrestles with, and for the single man wanting to prepare himself the right way, Sexual Healing offers clarity, courage, and a path back to God's original intent. Because at the end of the day, everybody needs a little sexual healing. Get your copy at thekellumfamily.com today.